This is Sreeshant, the most controversial cricketer ever. And if you too are a cricketing fan, I'm sure that you have heard this name before. Many know him as a spot fixer who was acquitted by a special court in 2015. The way he laughed, jumped and took pride in every win. And the way he got angry, frustrated and disappointed with every loss. Memories are all fresh and alive. And eventually he went on to face a life ban. The main problem is the fact that there are a lot of contradictory articles and videos available on the internet. And Sreeshant's real identity is completely hidden. So let's break the mystery in this particular video and understand who he really was.
വാതുവയ്പ് കേസിൽ ശ്രീശാന്ത് പോലീസ് പിടി. IPL വാതുവയ്പുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ഇന്ത്യൻ ക്രിക്കറ്റ് താരം ശ്രീശാന്ത് ഉൾപ്പെടെ 3 രാജസ്ഥാൻ റോയൽസ് കളിക്കാരെ പോലീസ് അറസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തു. ഡൽഹി പോലീസിന്റെ പ്രത്യേക സെല്ലാണ് ഇവരെ അറസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തത്. അറസ്റ്റിലായ 3 കളിക്കാരെയും IPL നിന്ന് പുറത്താക്കി.
Shantakumaran Nair Sreesanth is an Indian cricketer who has played all the formats of the game for our country. But the process of making it till the national squad wasn't easier for him. Because he comes from a state where football and volleyball are celebrated more. And Thiru Yohannan was the only fellow Malayali until then to make it to the national squad. And after quite a good performance in the Ranji Trophy, Duleep Trophy and in the India B team, Sreeshant made his debut in the blue jersey against Sri Lanka in the year 2005.
Good day today, he's cleaned him up. That is well bowled. Sreeshant, his first international wicket.
He belongs to that era when the Indian cricketers were showing their real aggression outside the Indian subcontinent. And our very own Sreeshant, unlike his name, was no less when it came to being aggressive. Some people laughed at him, some hated him and some said that he was being arrogant. But undoubtedly that same aggressive nature always put him on the top.
I think I was more portrayed as an entertainer than a cricketer. There was no guide as a cricketer when you grow up in Kerala. So I used to think, aggression is everything. And you got to be aggressive on the field so that you get the respect. Nobody corrected it and it was helping me to do performance. Including the captain used to say it's very tough for me to even control him. So all that used to hurt me. But then at the end of the day you're playing and you're performing, it never mattered.
Anger is not a bad emotion. If channelized in the right direction, it can produce wonders. And the same was proved by our very own Sreeshant, when the Indian team, which was going through a bad phase, reached South Africa for a series of 5 ODIs and 3 tests. After getting whitewashed in the ODI series, the Indian team was about to go for a practice match against the rest of South Africa team, when Jack Rudolph, the then captain of the South African A team, said the following in a pre-match conference. I don't consider Sreeshant as a fast bowler. He is too slow. He is just an overrated bowler and his presence won't make any difference in this series. Sreeshant replied to this claim the very next morning in the best possible manner, as he went on to dismiss Rudolph for a golden duck with the very first delivery of the match. And this was enough to send out a clear-cut message. There was no doubt that Sreeshant was the ultimate best Indian bowler, and this was proved by him furthermore. Arguably the best batting lineup the world ever witnessed. Graeme Smith, Hashim Amla, Jack Callis, Mark Bouncer and Sean Pollock were all dismissed by Sreeshant in the very first test match. And the heroics of Sreeshant continued in the next innings too. After Zahi Khan got dismissed, he was in the crease to face Andre Nell, one of the best South African bowlers back then. Sreeshant was simply leaving every bouncer bowled by Nell. And out of frustration, Nell walked up to him and said, "You don't have a heart and you are not good enough." Sreeshant, however, kept himself calm and quiet when Nell and crores of other Indians waited for a reply. And what happened next is considered to be the greatest ever response to sledging in the history of cricket.
That is the perfect I've never seen anything like this in my life.
A stunning 6 by a tail-ender batsman stepping right above Nell's head. And that horse-riding dance enacting Sourav Ganguly's celebration at the Lords. And yet again to send out the same clear-cut message.
ഇല്ല, എനിക്കറിയില്ല എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചതല്ല. കാരണം ഞാൻ 6 അടിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നെല്ലെന്തോ അതിന് മുമ്പുള്ള പോലെ നെല്ലെന്തോ പറയുകയും ചെയ്യുകയുണ്ടായി. ആരോടും ഒരു സന്ദേശവും ഇല്ല. ഞാൻ ആസ് എ മലയാളി എനിക്ക് ഇത്ര പറയാനുണ്ടായിരുന്നുള്ളൂ, ഇന്ത്യൻസ് വെറും വീക്കാന്ന് തോന്നുന്നത് ചെയ്യരുത്. വി ആർ നോട്ട് വീക്ക്, വി ക്യാൻ സ്റ്റാൻഡ്, വി ക്യാൻ ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് യുവർ ഐസ് ആൻഡ് ടോക്ക്.
The Indian team literally smashed the dressing room. Because this was the first time the Indian team had registered a win in the South African soil. led by the heroics of our very own Sreeshant. Greg Chappell post this series compared him with a Ferrari car, running on a high-octane fuel. And after quite a good performance for India across different formats and after winning 2 World Cups, the Ferrari crashed. 16th of May 2013 came as a shocker for many IPL fans across the globe. 3 Rajasthan Royal players, namely Ajit Chandila, Ankit Chavan and S. Sreesanth, were arrested by the Delhi police on the charges of spot fixing during the 6th season of the Indian Premier League.
I was on my way to one of my friends' after party. 2 Innovas came and suddenly 3 commandos came in and my driver got out thinking that it's a kidnap or something. And I was asking, "Kya hai? Can you please tell me what it is? You're under arrest." I said, "Aapke paas arrest warrant hai? किसके लिए अरेस्ट कर रहे हो?" चुप बैठो. They were not really explaining anything. I was only crying and I was trying to figure out why is happening and can you please explain? No one is explaining it.
Subsequently, they were sent to Tihar jail, that same place where some of the biggest criminals of our country have been trapped. And that 1 month that Sreeshant spent with 480 other criminals was no less than a hell.
ഞാനൊരു ഡോർമെട്രിയിൽ 450-485 പേരുടെ കൂടെയായിരുന്നു ഞാൻ കിടന്നത്. അതും എല്ലാവരും മർഡേഴ്സും വളരെ മോശമായ സ്വഭാവമുള്ള എല്ലാവരും. എൻ്റെ ഫസ്റ്റ് ടൈം ജീവിതത്തിൽ ഒരിക്കലും മറക്കില്ല. കാരണം കയറി ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ നിന്നെ കൊല്ലും, നീ ദേശദ്രോഹിയാണ്. ചിലപ്പം കെട്ടിപ്പിടിക്കാൻ ഓടി വന്നതായിരിക്കാം, ചിലപ്പം കൊല്ലാൻ ഓടി വന്നതായിരിക്കാം, തള്ളിയിട്ടത് ചിലപ്പം പേടിപ്പിക്കാനായിരിക്കാം. മരണത്തിന് തുല്യം തന്നെയായിരുന്നു എന്നോടുള്ള പെരുമാറ്റം.
His contract with the Rajasthan Royals was suspended and a life ban was imposed on him by the BCCI. The owner of Chennai Super Kings, Gurunath Mayappan, and the owner of Rajasthan Royals, Raj Kundra, were 2 found guilty in the IPL betting scandal. But they probably had an easy escape because of power, money and influence. But as the first law of karma says, what goes around comes around. It seemed as if Sreeshant was being made a sacrificial goat. It seemed more of a personal revenge that BCCI was making. Because even after being proved innocent in the spot fixing case, BCCI reduced the life ban to 7 more years, which means a total destruction to the elite years of a fast bowler. BCCI used their influence to an extent that during a domestic league, Sreeshant was asked to leave the M. Chinnaswamy ground, that same ground where he grew up playing the game for which he dedicated a larger portion of his life for. And of course the hypocrisy of the Indian media and their derogatory comments and insults to add more to the misery.
You know how unfortunate this is. You're out of cricket, you have a life ban. You cannot play cricket. They are playing cricket for the country and you're down in the dumps.
And all of this insults, hatred and sufferings for a crime that he never committed.
My dad was destroyed, man. My mom was in depression. All because of me. My daughter is going to school now. I will leave India, man, I'm telling you. If my kids play cricket, I can't even go to the ground to even watch. You don't understand, guys. You don't understand.
I don't want them or their family to go through what me or my family went. The closest to that will be death.
His fight for justice finally paved off as all the bars imposed on him officially ended on September 13, 2020, and he was selected in the Kerala team for the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy and the Vijay Hazare Trophy. He has already been talking about doing everything possible to get back into the blue jersey. And probably many of us might feel that he is fighting a losing battle. But the courage to make this bold statement at the age of 39, even when all the odds are against you, that is what deserves all our love and respect.
You love me or hate me, I am absolutely fine. If you love me, I am in your heart and you are in my heart. And if you hate me, I am in your head.
Sreeshant might not be remembered as the greatest ever bowler of all time, but I am definitely sure that he won't be remembered as a spot fixer or as a criminal. But the upcoming generation will remember him as the one who inspired lakhs of kids from a small Indian state to pursue their individual dreams fearlessly instead of being a part of the social bandwagon. the one who stood like a mountain even when all the winds were blowing against him. And most importantly, as that young, aggressive Indian fast bowler who could destroy the world's best batting lineup with the power of his aggression to prove to the world that we Indians are no less.
What is the worst thing that could happen? ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴും ചോദിക്കും ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ്. I may not be there in the World Cup side. That is the worst thing that could happen. But still I believe if India reaches final, I'll be standing in that flag, saluting it.
May this story of Sreeshant be the voice of every person who were denied justice, and for the ones who are fighting a losing battle to prove their innocence. Because at the end of the day, Sreeshant is a cricketer, and he is the living proof of the fact that no game is lost until the last ball.
In the air, Sreeshant takes it! India win! Unbelievable scenes here at the Bullring. And India would believe they've got out of a corner. Misbah-ul-Haq doesn't want to leave the field. But what a match for a 2020 final. India, the world champions.